it is time for another follow-up. So number 4, activity number 4, A, 6m to the 4th divided by 2m. Again, the first thing we want to do is write this in expanded notation, m to the 4th. That's pretty bad. And now we want to cancel. 2 divides into 6 3 times. One of the m's will cancel. We're left with m times itself 3 times, or m cubed in the numerator. When these cancel, they cancel to 1. Whenever anything is written over 1, it just becomes m to the 3rd. And let's verify. We've been letting m equal 5, so let's keep that up. Now on the calculator, when you're doing 6 times 5 to the 4th, and it's in the numerator of a fraction, don't forget to group that. Also, 2 times m in the denominator, or 2 times 5, will need to be grouped. The result is 375. And we want to do the same thing with our final answer. $125. Well, this does not check. So let's go back up and look at our work. I like this step, and I see that what I've missed here is this 3 didn't show up in this fraction over here. So let's try now with 3 times 5 to the 3rd. $375. That's the answer we were hoping to get. These two answers now match, so I know that this answer is correct and checks. Now this is going to happen from time to time when you're taking a test. Remember, if that does happen, do not go through and erase the work. If I make this problem worth 2 points and this part of the problem worth 2 points, if you forget the 3, you might miss 1 point up here. If you erase all of this work down here, you'll miss 2 more points. Whereas if you leave all of that work, you'll only miss 1 point out of this whole problem instead of 3. So it's to your advantage to leave it there. It's also a good idea to let me know that you understand that this was an incorrect answer. And there's a really fast and easy way for me to know that you know this didn't work. All right, let's try 4B. So the original equation is, or expression, is 30k to the 3rd divided by 5k squared. Expanded canceling. 5 divides into 30 6 times. K's will cancel. Another K will cancel. So I'm left with 6K. And again, that is 6K over 1, which is just equal to 6K. I will count it right if you don't bother to write that step. And let's verify our answer. Now, I've been picking a lot of 5s. You actually can choose anything you want for K other than 0, 1, or 2. So I'm going to let K equal 9. So this is the original equation or expression. And this is the result. Now I'm going to do the work in one step on the calculator. Again, group the numerator. And group the denominator. And this time I got the correct answer. They both equal 54. So this answer checks. All right, let's go on to part C. Now this expression has two terms that we need to simplify. So my first step again is to write it in expanded form. X to the 5th is the same as x multiplied by itself 5 times, x squared, and x cubed. In this expression, I'll want to cancel some things. One of the x's cancels, another one of the x's cancels. That's about it. So I end up with 4x to the 3rd over 1. And this is 3x to the 3rd. Or I can write that without the over 1. And you'll notice that these are like terms. So if I have 4x to the 3rd and I subtract 3x to the 3rd, I end up with 1x to the 3rd. When we're simplifying, we usually don't write that 1. I'm going to verify this, but I do want to point something out, and that is that if you had stopped here, I need another P. Oops. If you had stopped here, this expression would check because all of these expressions are equal. So when you're verifying, you're just checking whether this is still equal. It doesn't tell you that you didn't go far enough to get to the final answer. So you might still lose a point by not simplifying far enough, even though your answer will verify. All right, let's let x be equal to 5 again. There's the original expression, and the answer down here was just x to the 3rd, or 5 to the 3rd. group the numerator. So all of that is equal to 125. Some of you may already know that 5 to the third is also 125. So my answer does check. If you had substituted in x equals 5 here, it also would have been 125. In fact, at any step all the way through the process, the answer would have been 125 because all of these expressions are equal to the one that we started out with. This, however, is the most simplified expression, which is what we were trying to get to. All right, it's time to go back to the lessons and continue on in the activities.